This is Phanteks' brand new case, the Eclipse G300A. This is their successor to the P300A, a case that they released a few years ago, coming in at a price tag of $70. This G300A here has that same price. It MSRPs at $70 while seeking to add even more value. If this price is actually kept at the retailers, then that would be awesome to see, because we've kind of seen this trend of increasing costs of PC parts year after year, especially given everything we've gone through this last few years, you know, with the pandemic happening, to tariffs, to increased price of materials, increased cost of shipping, inflation, you name it. So yeah, in this video, we're going to unbox this, check it out, and see if it's potentially worth your hard-earned money or not. But first, a quick word from this video's sponsor. This video is brought to you by me and my official merch. Check it out if you want to support the channel while getting something in return. The link to my Bonfire merch store is in the description below. Okay, that's it. Short and sweet. Back to the video. Alright, let's first get this out of the box. So here it is, and first thing that I noticed is the design change on the front of the case. If you remember what the P300A looks like, it had those kind of like vertical slit grills at the top. They've actually removed that, and now it is just kind of a flush, more square look. I actually prefer this look. It looks a lot cleaner. Inside we do see a lot of bubble wrap, and I'm actually not sure if this is just because it's the press release sample. For the full release, they are going to have the additional fans pre-installed. So you do get 3 included addressable RGB fans, whereas the P300A at that same price only came with 1 rear plain black fan. First thing I want to talk about is this removable side panel. So they do have this, you know, metal lip on the end with 2 cap thumb screws on it. One thing that I would have liked to see, and they've done this in their other cases, is the incorporation of some kind of toolless design. This is still, you know, worlds better than the 4 holes through the glass and the 4 thumb screws, which is very annoying to put on and take off. This is a huge improvement from that. But beyond that, like a hinge design like what they have on their P500A, or a design using kind of like those round pegs that just kind of pop in and off, which they do have in their P200A, that comes in at $70. If I'm going to be nitpicky, that is something that I would have loved to see, and that not only Phanteks, but I would like to see all case manufacturers move towards. Just less screws. And let's pop off the front panel, which comes off really easily. This is a slightly larger chassis than the P300A was. The width and the depth dimension is the same as the P300A, but the height dimension is increased by 15 millimeters or 1.5 centimeters. And that is so that you can now mount a top radiator in here, as well as the top of the case supporting 2 120 millimeter fans or a 240 millimeter radiator. The P300A only had a single fan support kind of in the top rear here. So we do have more cooling options in this case, and we do have increased height to put a radiator up top. In the front, previously the P300A only supported up to 240 or 280 millimeters. So you can go with the full on 360 millimeter radiator, and I'm going to put one in later to see the fitment. More cooling options in this case, but with one exception, where the P300A did support 140 millimeter fans either in that rear top spot or in the front too. This case only supports 120 millimeter fans in the front and the top, so there is no support for 140 millimeter fans. Now in terms of the front or the top I/O here, we do have the return of the reset button, very similar to the P300A, as well as one of the USB 3.0s, but the other USB 3.0 got updated to a USB 3.0 Type C, so the speeds are still 3.0 and connected to a 3.0 internal header. This does not have a 3.2 Type C internal connector or speeds. Headphone / mic jack, and then we do have the front button, which goes to the front of the case for the power. So looking at the rest of the main chamber of the case, there's not much else going on. This design does follow very similar to the P300A. So let's move on to the rear. Looking at the rear here, we do have a removable bracket that does support 3 2.5-inch drives. They did remove the hard drive cage that used to be down here, but you can still install a 3.5-inch hard drive down here. So there is support for at least one 3.5-inch hard disk drive if, you know, you're still using one of those. In terms of how much space is back here, actually let me grab a ruler. But if we were to measure on the motherboard side of things, 5/8 of an inch. This channel is really deep. Let me measure that one. So this is adding an entire inch of depth to it. So this channel is 1 5/8 inch deep, which is plenty of room for, you know, all the cable management you need. Whereas on the motherboard side of things, over here is only 5/8. And we do have Velcro straps already installed into the case, so that's nice to see, to keep things nice and tidy. Other than that, not much else going on in the rear of the case. I'm just gonna grab some parts to throw into here to make a quick build, and I'll talk about any issues that come up with the installation of parts or clearance or anything like that. So yeah, let's get this built. So with the motherboard installed, it's already looking to be pretty tight at the top. So I'm gonna test fit a 240mm radiator up there. Let me hold one up to it and see what's going on here. So I've got an H100i V2 here. We do have some interference here, and this is with the memory. So I took the stock cooler off for a second. And yeah, so this is actually some pretty tall Team Group Excalibur memory. And when we try to get in here, because of the case depth, we are not able to clear this side of the memory. Let me put a little bit more of a standard size of memory in there. I have these Team Group Delta RGBs. These are a little bit shorter. All right, so those are in. So that works by a hair. If we take a look at how much clearance we have here, it is pretty much touching the memory right there. So yeah, not much room back and forth, but the radiator does fit at the top. We do have the holes lined up with it. So yeah, we do get fitment with lower, not, I wouldn't say these are super short sticks of memory, but yeah, if you have anything that's on the taller side, you're gonna have to come up with a different cooling solution. Probably just go with no radiator up top and just do the front mounted radiator and just put only fans up top. All right, since we are playing with radiator fitment, I'm gonna install the front 3 RGB fans. Three fans in the front installed. Let's get to test fitting a 360mm radiator. We'll just slide this in like so. And oh yeah, no issues at all. So there's the fans and here's the radiator. It would just go in just like so. If you want zero clearance issues, stick with the 360mm in the front. Now let's get the power supply installed. The front panel connectors is all in one single piece, so you're not dealing with a bunch of small things. It can just plug into the JFP1. Now I'm going to install the graphics card. This is the 4070 Ti Ventus from MSI. This is a 308mm graphics card. This case supports up to 390mm graphics card. So you're pretty much going to be able to fit any size card in here, even like the newest biggest baddest cards. This is just the biggest card that I have on hand, so we're gonna get this in there and see how much space is left over after it is installed. This is the card installed in there, and this is about how much space we have to the front. Let me actually measure this, because at 390mm, that might be assuming that there's nothing in the front. We have about 6 centimeters, so that's 60 more. So that would be about 368 or maybe 365mm plus the 25 that a standard fan depth is. Then yeah, the 390 that they are quoting on it assumes you have no front fans at all, which I'm not sure how many people are going to be running configurations like that. The true support for the graphics card length, if you are putting fans in the front, is going to be 365mm, and then even less, subtract about another 25 or 30 from that if you're going to put a radiator in front. We're going to take a look at the back side here, and let me tidy up the cable management a little bit. All right, there you have it. There's this channel, which I've got all the cables running through here pretty much. There's still a lot of room. You can fit a lot of stuff back here still. And if you don't want to take the cleaner cable management route and want to shove everything down in the power supply basement, there's plenty of room down here. Now to see if the case panel will close, mainly due to this drive It looks like it's going to be pretty close, but that would be a pretty huge oversight if this panel did not go on flush. And there you go. It goes on flush without any effort. In terms of cable management in the back, very, very easy, well thought out. And then let's do a quick peel. And there you have it. Let's get this thing powered on. Alright, so there you have it, the Phanteks Eclipse G300A. I think there's a ton of value in this case at that $70 price point. And between the two configurations, with the single fan versus the 3 fans, I think the 3 fan config is the way to go. It's only a $10 price difference, and you get 2 additional adjustable RGB fans, which is $5 a fan. And that's pretty cheap. It doesn't get that much cheaper than that. If you're like me and tend to like smaller cases and footprints, then this is on the smaller size of the mid-tower spectrum. And I do have a wish list for Phanteks though, and this is a very short wish list. Please, 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 in the next revision, consider some type of toolless design for the 2 side panels. Whether it be like a hinge design, those pop-in pegs, magnets, whatever it may be. This is a pretty minor nitpick though, because at the end of the day, most people will just build their PCs and then, you know, rarely open it up again except for the occasional upgrade or dusting. It would have also been nice to see that front panel USB Type-C connector be 3.2 instead of 3.0, since most new motherboards have the updated header on them. Even as this case is though, as it is sitting in front of me, this is an easy recommend in my book for people out there looking to save some money without sacrificing on quality or aesthetics. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. If you're in the market for a new case, let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are after seeing this, and do you think it's worth the $70 price tag? And if not, what case do you think provides better value than this at a similar price? I look forward to reading your comments. I want to thank you all as always for watching and for continuing to support the channel. Thanks to the channel members as always for their above and beyond support. As always, be safe out there, and I'll see you all down in the comments as well as in the next stream and or video. Bye.